can we say something about Brock and put his season in perspective? Like, I think maybe I'm missing it because we all say like, oh, look, he's a product or the system or the supporting cast and his physical skill set. Like, okay, his numbers though, his numbers through 5 games are better than the numbers Matt Ryan put up in his MVP season under Kyle Shanahan. That year, his quarterback rating was 117. It was over the long haul. But if Brock keeps this up, he's gonna be the MVP of the league, folks. No matter what you think of him. Whether you think he's a product or a game manager or this or that, he's going to be the MVP, not McCaffrey. And that's wild to think about. Man, if you find a way to put up a 123 quarterback rating, you deserve it. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's legit.
Peter King said this week Brock Purdy would get his MVP vote right now. And Peter usually has a pretty good sense of that kind of thing. Obviously,
McCaffrey blew it when he fumbled. That's it. You just gave it right to.
Well, McCaffrey's going to be Offensive Player of the Year. I bet that before the year even started. To me, that was easy money.
Oh,
if you're
they'll split it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
You could make the argument right now, Grant, that the 49ers have the MVP, the Offensive Player of the Year, and the Defensive Player of the Year in Fred Warner. Yeah. You can make an argument they have all 3. By the way, real quick, Brock Purdy is plus 700 for MVP right now. It's tied for 3rd best in the NFL. So if you think he's going to win, pluck your money down.
Bet US. Bet US.
And you win $700. That's what plus 700 means. So
right.
You could win a nice little chunk of change. But yeah, I think the Niners have all those awards right now.
So, okay, let's circle back to the beginning of the show. This is the point I'm trying to make. You got the MVP of the league at quarterback, potentially. You got the Offensive Player of the Year at running back. You got the Defensive Player of the Year at linebacker. Kyle, win the Super Bowl, man. This is it. This is your year. You can do it. We all believe in you. Don't find a way because you're out of excuses. If you lose the NFC Championship game, everyone's looking at you. No one's looking at Tyler Kroft or Jaquiski Tart. But again, I think they're going to win the Super Bowl, man. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm not feeling pessimistic. I'm not like sitting back here like, okay, the Eagles still got them. I don't know. I think this is their year. I think Kyle can do it. I think even Kyle Shanahan can win the Super Bowl with this team.
See,
sorry, Kyle. I'm just kidding. I love you, Kyle.
Yeah, right. This is
like Kyle. I have fun with Kyle.
But I'm not going to blame any loss on Kyle Shanahan. Like just because they lose doesn't mean it's Kyle Shanahan's fault. Are you with me?
Yeah, we'll have to see it. We'll have to see what happens. Yes. But so far, it looks like they're never going to lose again, ever.
Josh Wyatt says Shia LaBeouf as Grant screaming, "Do it, Kyle!" Yeah, you know what? I kind of see that too. I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. That is the one. I'll take it. Darnold rules.
Screaming Grant is my favorite. Grant.
Jeremy, did you see the picture I posted on Twitter a couple nights ago of me and my dad 20 years ago where I had the big afro?
You had a big afro?
Yeah. A big one.
I got to go check
if you want to. Oh, yeah. It's on my Twitter from like two nights ago.
I'll try and pull that up in a second. Jeremy Soto says Purdy's the MVP making $900K. Pretty much. I mean, it would clearly be probably the lowest salaried MVP, going back to when they made no money back in the day, I would imagine. Has to be.
They need to get rid of this rookie wage scale. It's un-American, and I won't stand for it. Brock Purdy should be able to renegotiate his stuff now, today. And the fact that he can't is such an advantage for the 49ers. It's so unfair. It's a bad rule. I understand why they did it, mostly because of Jamarcus Russell. It's the Jamarcus Russell rule. You know what I'm saying?
It really has changed a lot in the league. There we go. I found the picture if you're watching on YouTube. Look at you, Grant. That is
20 years ago. Wow. That's what you call puberty right there. Curly hair. I don't think I could do that anymore. I don't think my hair would do that.
Style hair.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's what it's all about right there, baby. You can see it.
Impressive.
My dad too. Look how young he looked there.
Oh, here we'll go back really quick. Well, you said it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Who doesn't look good 20 years ago?
Me.
Well, okay. You said it, not me.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's see. We got another super chat from Chris. Imagine Dolphins 49ers Super Bowl. McDaniel press week would be wild. That would be, God, the stories that would come out about them and how they were on the same staff. And McDaniel would want to beat the brakes off of Kyle Shanahan. I think McDaniel really does think he's better than Kyle Shanahan, and I think he wants to prove everything to the world.
Yeah, but I don't think his team's as good as Kyle. It's like,
It's
what
not.
is he? I mean, they lost 48-20 to Buffalo. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. They haven't beaten anyone that matters. They've beaten the Chargers, the Patriots, the Broncos, and the Giants. That doesn't mean anything. Doesn't
I
mean
tried
anything.
to tell you a couple weeks ago, they weren't it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you give
You
up
okay?
48 points. Yeah. I almost knocked over my water and I was scared, but I didn't.
I know they
Thank
dropped
goodness.
70 on Denver, but let's calm
Cool.
down a little bit.
Cool. Yeah. The Niners dropped 42 on Dallas. That's probably more impressive,
In
frankly.
3 quarters, basically, too. Like
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the Dolphins made it a point to run it up,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Lucky Rosario says Jimmy was holding the offense back for 6 years. Yeah.
No, it was Kyle. His plays freaking suck, man. Jimmy, dude, you're never gonna live that down. Ever. He imagine okay, so who plays me in the Brock Purdy story? Who plays Jimmy in the Brock Purdy story? And how do they portray Jimmy? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know who would play Jimmy, but I do know that
Self-satisfied, complacent,
is the offense we thought they could have. That when we were screaming about all these
indifferent.
open guys
Yeah.
that were not there, like this is it. This is the offense we thought it's everything that we thought it could be, Grant. It's so beautiful.
It is really, it's really, really nice. It's not, and he's hitting the balls he's hitting the throws down the field too. Now, it'd be nice to see what Sam Darnold could do, what the next Steve Young could do in this offense. I'm still waiting to see that, but for now, he is kind of looking like the next Joe Montana a little bit right now. Like he's not Joe, and I didn't live through the Joe years, but it's like just the fact that he's on the Niners and running around playing like that is very like he seems like the kind of guy who could pull off the throw to Dwight Clark. He could get out of the pocket, roll back, fall back, make that throw. Doesn't mean he will, but I feel like he has that in his bag.
If you're watching on YouTube now, I pulled up a picture of a 3rd down play from the Cowboys game. There's Deebo Samuel is open short for a 1st down, and then there's Juwan Jennings, who was about 10 yards further down the field. And Kyle Posey pointed out on Twitter that we all know where the ball would go on 3rd down if Jimmy Garoppolo was still the quarterback. It's going to Deebo because he's got a 1st down and he's open. But Brock doesn't do that. He doesn't take the singles. He takes the doubles. He looks deeper down the field. He throws it to Juwan Jennings for the 1st down, which obviously is great because you're gaining more yards. But I also think it helps, Grant, because if Deebo catches that ball on that play, he's going to get smashed by the linebacker in the middle of the field. He didn't have to take that punishment now because Brock is looking for open guys further down the field, especially outside the numbers. You don't take the same kind of physical punishment that you do when you're catching passes over the middle. And I think over the long season, that does have an effect.
Also, his field vision is so much better than Jimmy's. Jimmy always felt like he was reluctant to do anything with the offense. He almost felt like, okay, Kyle told me to go here, so okay, I'll throw it here. Well, you said, I threw it to the interception to the linebacker, but you said he was going to be open. I just did what you said. It just feels like Purdy takes ownership of whatever's happening on the field and can see. It's like, okay, I'm supposed to go to Deebo, but Juwan's open. And how many times have you heard Kyle after the game say like, I was really impressed that Purdy on this one throw because he was like the 4th read in the progression. Really impressed that he got all the way. I mean, he missed the throw, but the fact that he even got there, it's like, yeah, man, Jimmy never do that. So that's part of the nuance of appreciating Brock Purdy is like, man, that was not the 1st read at all. He just saw it and he saw it in time and he got it there. Like really good, really good. Like his highlights aren't super fun to watch. He's not Lamar Jackson, but he's just a highly efficient quarter. He's really good. It's really good.